Alright, here comes the King Cup. Are you ready? That's right, the final track from the first game is only the first track of the King Cup in this game, which terrified me the first time I played because if you'll remember in my Let's Play, even cheating, I couldn't beat Firefield on the easiest difficulty. I can beat it now, no problem. I can beat F-Zero without cheating, no problem, which makes me so happy, at least on the first two difficulties. Whew. This Firefield isn't as hard, but we are going to be playing it as Pico, pilot of the Wild Goose. Pilot number 6, age 123, or so he says. Pico used to work for a special unit of the Poripoto army. He's aggressive, but calm. Rumor has it that he is also an infamous hitman. He's aggressive, but calm. That line cracks me up. His machine doesn't look too bad. I think he has the worst one in the original F-Zero. You know what? We're going to go ahead and start out at good max speed here. Our body is pretty good. The boost is pretty good too. And the grip is only C. He might have the best one in this game. Huh. Oh, what was it? Some critic said Pico was driving like a frying pan or something. I don't know, when they were talking about how the machines don't look great. So, I did mention before, there's another neat fact coming your way, that this game started development in the middle of Mario Kart 64's development because I guess Miyamoto was getting some more hardcore ideas. But that also puts this during the development of another F-Zero game. Not the Satellaview games, well, probably yes, actually, but Zero Racers, originally known in development earlier on as G-Zero, which was the Virtual Boy's, kind of looked like Star Fox actually from the very limited screenshots we have. It was to be an F-Zero Virtual Boy game that inevitably got canceled in the fall of '96 when they gave up on the Virtual Boy completely. So this game, the Satellaview game, the first one, I guess, and Zero Racers would have all been in development at the same time. So there would have been a huge F-Zero boom after a 6-year hiatus, but we never got to see it. There is no playable demo of Zero Racers at all, but the things they were piloting looked like R-Wings. I don't know how good the game would have been or anything, obviously. I think some critics behind closed doors got to see some press got to see some footage of the game or got to play a demo or something, but I don't know. I mentioned already, yeah, the game was initially F-Zero 64. It was developed by mostly the staff of Wave Race 64, so a lot of people considered this a successor to that. The voice actors for most of the characters are Jim Warnell for all the male characters and Kaomi McDonald for the female characters. I think they were all done in English, but Jim Warnell said he did Mr. Zero, the announcer. He did his voice based on the announcer of Ridge Racer, which was a PlayStation racer that was huge at the time. Controversial of him to admit that. But in earlier versions of the game, I guess as placeholders mostly, Taro Bondo, the main composer of the game, did all of the male voice clips. And he is believed to do the final male death scream if you fall off the track. The whoa, which we haven't heard yet, but I'm sure we'll be hearing it plenty as the game goes on. The game sold 481,326 copies in America and Japan combined, but Japan only bought 97,684 copies, most of which were in the very first week. Over 50,000 were in the first week. The second week, they dropped to a fifth of the first week's sales, and this is because of the extremely dedicated but small 64 fan base that was there at the time. So, of course, you know, they were dying compared to the PlayStation. But man, I think the N64 aged so much better. We've heard this rant from me as a Nintendo fanboy a million times, so you don't need to hear it again. I can finally put my phone down. Oh, I was holding it that whole first lap and looking at it for the first 15 seconds, so I'll say I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. Again, we are in Novice difficulty. I guess I gotta spice it up a bit. Shouldn't have boosted there. Ugh. Alright. Ooh. Oh, this is the commentary you like to hear. Ooh. Oh. Hmm. So, I've mentioned in my latest videos, for those who have kept up, Banjo-Kazooie and Wrecking Crew 98 custom stages, that I have been exhausted, like extremely exhausted, because all I've done is work, record, edit, well, and now research F-Zero X and clean. I did have a couple hours the past week, about 1 or 2 hours that I spent by myself in my room playing Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, and very nice, very good. But that was it. That's all the relaxing I've done. After I finish recording here, I'm going to go clean some more, because I really want to get caught up. My wife hasn't been able to clean at all because of her terrible back injury she has, which is on and off. She pulled a muscle like 3 years ago, and it still hasn't gone away. It just flares up from time to time. She was in a 9 out of 10 pain last night, and her pain threshold is insane. So I felt so badly for her. Last time I was in pain that badly was my tooth infection, where I thought about, dying. Oh, it hurts so much. I don't even want to think about it. I cried. I've cried twice in the past 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And man, that pain was really something. Oh. But before that, I was watching the movie Christopher Robin. Man, any movie about letting go of your childhood or a dog dying really hits close to home, because I never wanted to grow up. There it is, you got to hear it! We will reward ourselves for dying with another fact. Critics were mostly divided on the music. Some people said the gameplay was boring, but most people were like, yeah, this is pretty good. Some people praised the replay value, some didn't. Some said it gets old pretty quickly. You know what? We're gonna knock it back a bit here. The music was praised for being retro. They called metal retro in 1998, which I thought was strange. I guess because the golden age of metal had passed or whatever, but it was also called cheesy and dreadful. And one of the guys who heavily praised it said, I would never listen to music like this on my own time. What? Like, I thought everybody was gonna, say the soundtrack's insanely good. I was shocked to discover that not everybody thought so. I mean, of course, some critics were like, this is perfect and beautiful. We just got a star. That increases our energy. A star is something you get for killing another racer. You can just bump into them. You don't have to do the side attack. And this is really a good point in the higher difficulties. If you don't kill your rivals, you're pretty much screwed. Because remember, they get 0 points for a race. They do come back the next race, obviously. Because I guess they have unlimited spare machines. And you don't? You need to come prepared, dude. Player, character, whichever you are at the time. Which, of course, we can assume the canon, character is Captain Falcon. By far, he is the main character. Ugh. Sorry, Pico and Dr. Stewart and Samurai Goro. But, yes, if they get 0 points, you're doing pretty well because you're way ahead of them in the overall ranking. You got to think of things in terms of the Grand Prix and not just the one race. But, of course, if you can get first on every race, obviously that's preferable. Why am I explaining racing game mechanics to you? This is obviously not your first racing game. Oh, I love that he says watch your back. If you're really far ahead of everybody, which honestly it seems more random than if you're really far ahead, they'll say, yeah, you're right out in front, or something like that. And obviously you have the check from the first game if you, have somebody approaching you. So yeah, you can get up to 29 stars at a time. But if you can manage to kill everybody in a Grand Prix race, oh my god, that'd be impressive. And of course there are more modes. This is a bigger game than you'd expect. There's a mode called Death Race where your goal isn't to win a race, it's to be the last man standing and kill all the other characters. It's single player only, sadly, but I guess I get it. But this game had a good bit of longevity compared to most games before its time. Now, it had the soundtrack that came out around the same time the game did. We'll say like this. Why not? But F-Zero X Guitar Arrange Edition came out January 27th, 1999, a good bit after the game. And this is our first game on the channel with, you can call it DLC, but of course that didn't really exist back then, with an expansion pack, which was mostly a thing for PC games. This has an expansion pack. How cool is that? It was never released in America, but I do plan on covering it. It was a Nintendo 64 DD exclusive game. That's the disc drive that failed miserably. The expansion kit is one of the main draws of the 64 DD add-on. It's a shame it only came to Japan. It had a track builder and editor. It had 2 new cups, so 12 fully new tracks. More music. It was mostly praised for its track editor, the track builder, which is apparently similar to the one they used to actually make the main stages. Tracks. I don't know why I keep saying stages. I guess because the word tracks is getting old. Hey, he said it! That we're right out in front. And then somebody immediately comes up behind us, so I don't get it, but whatever. So I will be covering that later, when it comes to its time. We can't stack that on our save data now, obviously, so it doesn't really matter, but I plan on covering expansion packs. Holy fuck. At the point where they're released. So I'm not covering a whole game and all its later add-on content at once, because that's a bit much for me. I'm so tired of these spam calls. Alright, I can put down my notes for now. You know what? I'm going to slow it down a bit again. Well, no, that's mostly acceleration that killed us there. Whatever. But yeah, that happens sometimes. And it feels kind of random to me, where I just launch into the air. If you are good, like if you watch a tool-assisted speedrun, you can be in the air the whole time and beat races in record time. They're amazing. I recommend checking them out. And I can't say that about too many tool-assisted speedruns for just a casual person, but they look hilarious. They destroy the game. It's beautiful. Truly a work of art. We are doing much worse this time around, but whatever. I guess that's okay. And you'll notice that guy right there, his racer looks like an R-Wing. More on him later. Whew. I'm sorry for coughing, you guys. What else is going on in my life? I'm playing the same games as I was before, so I won't talk about that. I have had no time to play anything recently. I haven't played Skyward Sword or Metroid Prime in over 2 weeks. And I've been trying to do the ending of Paper Mario for like a week now at least. So I'm ready to get some free time, but again, everything I'm doing, the cleaning, the recording, the editing, the social time, and obviously I am spending time with my wife, so it's not like I'm not relaxing at all. I'm not, you know, a barbarian who wants to just work. Like, I'm not doing that to myself, and I am sleeping enough. I'm actually sleeping too much because my body's so exhausted, but, you know, I need that free time desperately alone, which I'm getting right now, but of course I'm talking to you guys, so it still feels like work in a more fun sense than actual, you know, my job. This doesn't feel like my job, but it feels like work. A satisfying form of it, I guess. I don't know. It's like I can't just turn my brain off like I can for sitting down and watching YouTube or playing a game. And I still need to catch up on my friend's videos. Jason is also his name. That's my name too, for those of you who didn't know. Not As Designed Silly. Nads. He's got a great series called $5 and Under, or $10 and Under, if the game is actually under $10 and not $5, and he showcases, you know, the first few minutes, first bits of a game to see if it's worth the price, and like show you the best place you can get a deal on it. Again, I still haven't actually clicked on one of those videos. I haven't had time. All my YouTube time has been taken doing this, making my own YouTube stuff, which always makes me feel like a hypocrite. Because, like, I want people to watch my videos, but I never have time to watch anybody else's videos. Unless they're primarily listenable and not, like, I don't have to watch. Like, Spoiler Goblin, you should check out his channel, too. He has a video up on the lore of this game. There is a surprising amount. For every game he does, there is a surprising amount of lore. He did lore on the Google Dinosaur game for when you don't have internet access. And I was shocked. So you should check him out too. I'll put them in the description if I remember. Of course, this is not the best video. I don't think part 2 or 3 of a racing game is the best place to get traction. But, you know, it is so easy to fall out of these half pipes. Oh, and I'm sad the original White Land song doesn't come back. This is White Land 2, right? This might be White Land 1. I don't know. No, it's White Land 2 because we're in the King Cup. But this song is so good. They all have names. I don't remember what any of their names are. Mute City's name is Endless Challenge, I believe. And this one might be Climb Up and Get the Last Chance. That's one of them. That could be Silence. I don't know. But also, some of them are remixes that I just don't recognize because their arrangements are so different, I think. But Mute City and Big Blue. I didn't point out Big Blue when we did it. Man, oh, Mute City and Big Blue are the main two that are just like, oh, wow. Those are some remixes. The guitarist for this, I'm assuming Taro Bando, did an amazing job. I'm pretty sure it's, you know, synthesized guitar, because this is the Nintendo 64. I don't think we're at the point of live instruments yet. I'm not positive, though, because we do have, you know, voice sampling in a ton of games. It sounds really crisp for the time, like Star Fox 64 especially. And this, you know, doesn't sound bad. You know what I haven't mentioned at all, which I'm kind of surprised at? This was developed by Nintendo EAD, formerly known as Nintendo R&D 4. I'm not sure when they changed. I read that it was like 1990 when the SNES came out, and the first game they did under the name EAD was F-Zero. I'm not sure about that, though. Like, that seems off to me because they're listed as Nintendo R&D 4 as developers for a lot of SNES games. So that doesn't add up. But either way, they were EAD by now. I read one time they were just recently dubbed EAD, and that's why they have a lot of posters in the game, I think in the racetracks somewhere. I haven't pointed them out because I haven't noticed them. I could be misremembering completely. I don't know. God damn it! I told you, it's so easy to fall off the track. That's a bad example, but still. Just things that say Nintendo EAD, because they're celebrating their new name. Oh. Ow. They were also split because a lot of the hardware development people are not in EAD, I believe. Or maybe, I don't know. Nintendo does restructuring of their departments a lot. I mean, not in recent years, but like, to where it's so confusing unnecessarily. My ass is vibrating because I'm getting probably another spam call. Could be from my friend Cody. Alright, I recommend avoiding the jumps unless you're really good at the game, which of course I'm not. So we will be avoiding them like the plague. Alright. Oh, shit, shit, shit! It was Cody calling me, distracting me. As usual. This is the third time he's called me and I haven't answered today. Oh, I'll meet you back at the second. No, I won't. This is the third try. You're good. Yeah, I love the load-in for the textures on the machines. Alright, we only have one spare machine left. Don't bump into me, you bitch. I like how your rival starts at 29, I'm pretty sure, every time. So that's a plus. That's good. At least they don't have an unfair advantage. Ooh. Now, of course, the AI in F-Zero has always cheated. All Nintendo racing games, up to this point, have cheating AI, except for the ones that don't really have opponents. One big difference I haven't pointed out from the original, there's no bumper cars. Cars that actually aren't ranked racers, that are just there to be obstacles. Yeah, that's a thing of the past. That's from the original F1 race, which, of course, I keep forgetting to mention, was inspired by Namco's game Pole Position, which is the first video game my dad ever played. One of few. Because, you know, even though his son always wanted to play video games with him, he wouldn't do it. Instead, he would ask me to go work on model cars with him or something. One time he bought a model car for me and said, we're going to put this together together. And we did it. I'm not sure why. I don't ever mean to boost right there. Sometimes I'll try to brake, so I'll hit B. That doesn't work. That's the boost button. Miraculously, as many times as I've done that, it hasn't killed me. Where I've boosted instead of, like, braked. And so it just does me favors. Because I'm accidentally... Shit. Boosting? Oh, I'm so tense. I could not get past this track for a long time, even in Novice difficulty. And now I'm doing it as Pico, so look at me. Oh shit, I did it again. I always boost there. I see the arches and I think, okay, we're about to get some healing. It's not what it's called. Some, you know, the regenerative patches of pink stuff. I forget what it's called. I'm not going to put it on screen, because you don't care. Racing games are not where people want to see the official names of stuff, right? I guess so. You know, I shouldn't assume that about racing games when I care about every other game's official stuff. There is no way to skip the cutscene, and if you turn the game off, it will not have saved your achievement. So, be careful there. Next time, since we finally beat all the tracks... Long silence. That was intended. I will see you next time for standard difficulty. I really have to pee. I have to pee so badly. But I gotta sit through all of this. Luckily, it doesn't show you all your deaths. Yes, we got 1 kill. Wait, do the kills count if you die? I don't know if those carry over. If you have to redo a race. I'm assuming they don't, but I've never paid enough attention. Because, again, they don't actually... give you anything. If you get a high score of those, it's just kind of, it's cool, it's bragging rights, it's high octane murder. It's implied none of the drivers die. Oh, I didn't even mention why they canceled the F-Zero race for a few years in the universe, in the plot, because of all the sustained injuries. It had to be postponed and given new rules. I don't know, maybe they had to let the media coverage, the negative media coverage, die down before they went back at it again. I don't know. I would like to think people aren't this bloodthirsty for violence in the future. So this is actually a really pessimistic game, if you ask me. But, you know, whatever. I mean, it's not like the participants aren't willing to do it. They are all entering willingly and purposefully. And so many of them are horrible people. But, including Pico. And, you know... Hitman. But why do they have to make the aliens the bad guys? Like, sure, a lot of the humanoid ones are bad guys too, like Samurai Goro, but still, you know, the macho, regular-looking, very Japanese-looking fit man is the protagonist. And Dr. Stewart's also a good guy. And half the weird-looking people are bad guys. Sketchy. I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now. I'm LP Master 6. Goodbye.